So 561 Music now has a hotline. You can call us anytime at 561-203-9122 and ask us any questions you like. Some humorous ones or something about the guests we've had on the show, or questions about gear, or questions about the festival, or anything you like. It's, of course, 561-203-9122. We would love to hear from you. We did a pretty fun little message, so you get to hear that too. Even if you just call up to listen to me and Hector trying to do a good phone message, that's a good enough reason. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, so please get in touch. Hi guys, I know everyone says this on every YouTube channel, but please, could you like and subscribe to 561 Music Podcast? It's a local music podcast, and all we're trying to do is help local musicians get some exposure. So if you could like it, subscribe it, and also hit the notifications button on the episode, we would really, really appreciate it. And if you're feeling generous, you could subscribe to the Spotify as well. Thank you.
Take it by the scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben, and Hector is not here today. He has, bless his heart, put his back out. So while you're editing this, Hector, just know that I'm thinking of you, poor chap. No one likes putting their back out. In fact, it's one of the most horrible things imaginable. You suddenly realize all of the little things that you do with your body that you didn't even realize you did. So I don't think he's having a very nice time. This weekend we played at Meg O'Malley's in Melbourne. That's always a good time for us. It was a bit of a weird one because the sound guy forgot to come, I guess. So we had to figure out how to use a Behringer XR18, which is a lot of jargony talk for a mixer that doesn't have any knobs or faders. You have to use an app on an iPad, and I actually have one, but I very rarely use it, so we kind of struggled through that and managed to play the gig. And then on Saturday we played at the Square Grouper. It is so hot out at the moment that I can't say that those outside gigs are super fun, but I think everyone else had a good time, so that's all that really matters. And then on Sunday, we played Rock and Riverwalk, which is... So if you've ever been to Stewart, there's like a band shell, a kind of like a amphitheater thing in downtown Stewart, and we played there in the afternoon, and that was cool. Again, it was boiling hot. I got super sunburned, but managed to get through to the end. It was all good. And had a good time. Lots of people came and braved the weather. So thanks to everyone who came to that gig. If you're listening to this and you came to that gig, I appreciate your fortitude. Yes, there's a couple of things that came up in my social media feed, like some sort of memories, and I just sort of thought they were pretty funny in case you didn't see them. One of them was very recently I was going along in last year. Very recently, but exactly last year, I was walking around my neighborhood, and I found a kayak next to someone's house that they were throwing away. Thought it'd be a really, really good idea to grab it and try and head out onto the Intracoastal in it. Turns out they were throwing it away because it had a big hole in it, and I sank to the bottom of the Intracoastal. And then it was really difficult to get out of the kayak, a complete nightmare. So you can have a good laugh amongst yourselves about that, imagining me sinking to the bottom of the sea. The other thing was this time last year, literally today last year, I was driving back from Stewart, and like a whole gaggle of girls pulled alongside me, and they were all like yelling out of their window. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I think maybe they were recording a TikTok or something like that. I'm not sure, but anyway, their whole thing was they wanted to throw an Olive Garden breadstick out of their car and through into my window. And it took me ages to realize that's what this was all about. So I was kind of trying to stay out of their way, and they were sort of zooming in closer and then like backing off and zooming in closer and backing off, and I was trying to avoid them, and it was this whole thing. Anyway, eventually I just sort of gave in. They pulled next to me, and they were like, "Yeah, we want to throw this breadstick," and they were like filming it on their phone. I was like, "All right, let's do it." And they got it in first try, and boom, just straight through the window, breadstick. And then they wanted to throw more breadsticks in there and like a whole bunch of other stuff, but by this point I'd grown tired of the situation. I just pulled into a gas station, but I ate the breadstick, not gonna lie to you, and it was good. Anyway, we have the Bitter Blue Jays with us today. How's it going, guys?
Good.
We have Brian, MJ, and Angela.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for coming. We recently played a show together, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. We played a little festival in Boca, Prosperity.
Ricky put on that Long Live the Scene festival.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a trooper, man. He gets a lot of mentions on this podcast because of how much stuff he does in the area.
Ricky's awesome, man. Ricky works for the scene.
That he does.
He might be single-handedly keeping a lot of stuff going.
No doubt about it.
For sure.
No, he does a great job, and we honor him on here. We talk about him all the time.
Good. Ricky's awesome, and the best part is he's always so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
It's like a show. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Exactly.
Let's do it. Let's go out, get out there.
Yeah, he's got that tenacity, that spirit.
It's awesome. It rubs off on you.
No, it does, man. You know, I've had the pleasure of being able to do a few things with him. You know, he always helps out with the festival we do, and then also he plays the drums in a ska project that I'm doing at the moment, and so I get to hang out with him a little bit. Cool guy.
Right on. Yeah, we like Ricky a lot.
Yeah. Justin, who's in the other room, actually filmed. They're bringing out a documentary about being on the tour, The Shake. Do you hear about that?
I didn't see it yet.
So it's pretty cool, right? They have it. It hasn't come out yet, but there's this amazing sort of serialized documentary that they're bringing out, and Justin, who's the man behind the curtain who does all the engineering here, went on tour with him and filmed them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was The Shake and Dominic Delaney, and yeah, man, I've seen some of it because I was going to try and tidy up the sound, but it was really hard, A, and I did a pretty bad job, B. So we ended up just not using my version of the sound because the original was better. It was really hard. There was like all this sort of like ambient noise, which it's not necessarily to the point where it's like you would enjoy watching it, but there is a lot of ambient noise because they were in trucks and in the street and stuff. And in trying to remove it, I just ended up making it worse. I just got to this point where it was like the voices were really reedy and stuff, you know. So I left it. But it's really cool. So I've seen a bunch of it, and it's really funny, man. So if you get a chance to watch it,
definitely check that out.
Yeah,
Excited to see that for sure.
Absolutely. How did you guys meet Ricky?
Ricky came into a store I worked at a lot, and he was friends with some mutual friends of mine.
Right.
And we just ended up meeting, booking some shows together. He put us on some shows, and
oh, cool! So you just got chatting like randomly in the store.
Yeah,
there you go. That's how most
talk
of these
about
things
shows,
happen.
places to play, gear, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think musicians can smell other musicians.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You look across the room, you're like, okay, she probably plays music. yeah, that's awesome. So I think we're going to get on into the questions that we generally ask on this show, and the first one is, how did you find yourself playing music, Brian? Like, what was the like when you were young? Did you have lessons? Were your parents supportive? What was the beginning of all of this?
Well, I grew up kind of doing more sports than anything. I kind of got into playing music a little bit later.
Right.
But I did a lot of skateboarding, and I got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Which leaves you lots of time to do other things.
Yeah, for sure.
I always listened to music. As soon as I got an iPod, they never came out of my ears.
Yeah, right on.
So I always loved it. And one day I had the time, picked up the guitar, and been playing ever since.
Nice, man. How old were you?
I don't remember how old.
Were you a teenager or were you in your 20s?
I was probably in my teenager. I had kind of picked it up a little bit now and then, but I didn't really start taking it seriously until probably late teens.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, I took a couple of lessons early on, but they were trying to teach me
like
kind of classical, like how to sight read, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just like I would just
like
sit,
opaque, just like not fun at all. Yeah.
I would sit and just stare at it, and I was like, all right, that's this, and then I'd go to play, and I'd be like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
No, I understand that, and I don't teach guitar like that. I think guitar is one of those instruments where, unless you're trying to learn classical guitar, using like standard notation doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
You know, I just feel like it's a little bit of a. I mean, on some instruments, standard notation, like classical notation, works great. You know, the saxophone, piano, something like that. But because of I don't know, because of the way the guitar's laid out, it's just so difficult to read it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because I haven't done a ton of reading on guitar, but if I can avoid it, I try and use like any other means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll use tab and stuff like that,
Yeah, it was like it was learning another language, and I wasn't good at it. So I kind of got to the point where I learned a few chords. Like I wanted to write songs. I didn't want to learn,
Other people's, yeah.
Now I wish I knew a little bit more theory and kind of the workings of it.
Yeah.
But I learned some chords, and that's what I've been doing since.
Cool.
Just as soon as I could write a song, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that. That's, I didn't learn the guitar to learn a bazillion covers. I was trying to write my own songs from the get. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, same.
It's definitely what it was about for me. And, all these teenage dreams of being famous. My brother was a drummer, and we used to spend huge amounts of time in our bedroom. For years we sort of shared the same one. I went to a boarding school, so we weren't in it all the time, but when we were home, we'd be sleeping in the same room. And he had a drum kit and I had a guitar, and we just spent all of our time playing, Yeah, it was great. Do you have any family members who play music?
My dad plays guitar and sings a little bit, yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
I did see him do it, and then once I learned a little bit, we kind of got together and would play guitar and play some songs together,
Sick.
which is definitely awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, my mum plays the piano and the violin and a bit of organ, and actually she's getting pretty good at organ now. She does it in her local church sometimes. My dad isn't like unmusical. He just doesn't. He doesn't do it. Which but my brother and sister are both really musical, and I've played with them over the years. A lot of fun, especially my brother, because like he does that for a living now. He like masters for people and stuff like that. MJ, how did you find yourself playing music?
Similar to Brian, I was always into sports growing up. I was like the jock. I never into music, but my family, I was grateful to grow up in a family that had music playing all the time. My father played the guitar. My brother is actually really exceptional. A singer-songwriter. Cool. Yeah, Jake Johns.
Right, I should look him up.
Yeah, he has a musical project called Arden Room.
Okay.
And actually his daughter Mirabelle has been playing and writing music as well.
Sick. Is that around here?
No, they live up in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But also, my dad had an epic vinyl collection, so there was just constantly, listening to The Doors and Fleetwood Mac and Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones, Beatles, all that growing up.
Yeah.
I feel very grateful of that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it was our birthright, like our generation ended up listening to a ton of that growing up, and it was great. It's all the best rock and roll, really, 60s, 70s stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my mom was always a cool mom who had took us to shows and stuff like that. So
that's
Rosa.
awesome.
Shout out Rosa.
Shout out Rosa. No, but I mean, she allowed my brother to have his band play in the basement. They played a lot of Poison and Motley Crue and all that. So,
that's
anyways,
awesome.
I was just surrounded by music.
Oh, brilliant.
But I never got into it because I was too busy doing sports,
It seeps in the pores, though, like if it's around you like that, especially in terms of you play drums, especially in terms of like the rhythm of it, Right. I feel like if you're surrounded by it like that, it just kind of has a way of like osmosis getting into you a bit.
It was important to us, each one of us. So
yeah. That's awesome. When did you start playing the drums?
And then, so when I had some free time later, I picked up a ukulele. I was going through some heartache, and I started making.
I can picture this, like heartache and a ukulele.
Yeah, I picked up a ukulele, and I just, it was easier for me to play because I played some guitar from what my dad and my brother taught me and stuff like that. But it was only like. Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd and simple songs. So I picked up a ukulele. I started writing songs, anything from punk to hip hop to anything I felt.
Cool.
Some sad emo stuff too as well. And then I met Brian I was wakeboarding and he was taking photos, and we just randomly met at the wakeboard park.
Oh, cool!
And we got to hang.
Is it that place that with the fake waves where you can just sort
yeah,
that
the
place
pulley
sounds amazing.
system, Quiet Waters Park.
Okay, it's a pulley system. Gotcha.
It's called like Ski Rixen, and
yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It looks
it was really cool. I was doing like flips and stuff, and he was taking photos, and he was doing photography at the time.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. One thing led to another. We started talking, and we've been friends ever since. Like we were like inseparable. So
when was that? Like sort of 2015?
So that was probably like 2014, 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was living at this place called the Tree. Well, we called it the Treehouse. It wasn't an actual treehouse.
Yeah, you guys have a record called the Treehouse, right?
We do. That's where all the magic happened. Yeah, that was.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's where we wrote all those songs.
Yeah, so I had like a loft, and I set up kind of just like a music area in the loft. You know, I got like an electrical kit, and then we just started jamming, writing songs.
Cool.
Well, actually, no, we started doing like mashups. We were just jamming, ordering pizza and being stupid.
Sure, yeah.
You know? I was playing the ukulele, and then he's like, "Hey, you need to go on the drums." So that's basically where it started.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you end up getting lessons on it?
I didn't. We kind of just like him, self-taught. Just
I mean,
you know, they just needed somebody. You know, rhythm, keep the steady beat, and we've always been kind of like raw and gritty, anyways. So
that's awesome.
You know,
Yeah. I don't think lessons are essential. You know, far from it. I think they can be very useful, but I don't think it's not like a requirement. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to, like you're saying, holding it down. Just 4/4 beat. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you? I'm going to ask this question now, just because I'm curious, and it kind of leads into what we were talking about. Do you like practice, like when it, like sort of rudiments type practice? Do you practice sort of like your skills on the drums?
So we actually do a lot of practicing as a band.
Right.
It's usually at my house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's where we practice a lot. I mean, apart from like hands
and
sticks, like in my car and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I find the time, I go in there. But it's just, it's
I feel like
not the same,
same
energy and vibe as jamming with your friends.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think practice more for like the songs.
Right.
So like we're writing the songs and we're jamming more than she's doing rudiments or technique, stuff like that. Same with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Angelo? How did you find yourself playing music?
So mine's the complete opposite of them. I took lessons for years when I was like 12, and then I went into music school.
Yeah, me too. Tell me a little bit about it. How old were you when you started having lessons?
About, say, 11 or 12.
Okay, were your parents sort of into you being a musician? Are they supportive?
So I got into it because all my cousins and my brother played music, and
I
was like the last one to get into it. So I was like, sure, I'll play.
Just kind of following a path a little bit.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, that's cool though. So what was the first thing you started playing? Has it always been bass?
No, so it was a guitar. Was my first instrument. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I played guitar mostly when I first started and in music school.
Yeah. Do you still play a lot of guitar?
Not really.
Just bass now?
Just bass, but I have nice guitars.
Sure.
But I barely play them.
Right on.
But yeah, for sure.
And what music school did you go to?
I went to FAU Music School.
Oh, you went there? Cool. Yeah, I have some friends who did music there.
Mm-hmm.
A friend, Ben, who went there, and he was Ben Stokes, and he's a drummer, and he was my drummer for a little while. Yeah, he was. He even lived in my house for a while, which was
nice.
An unmitigated disaster. But anyway, I still love the kid. But, so I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but I'm just such a sucker for like having a couch guy who just ends up like being there for ages. Like it's just something that I don't know.
Have you had that?
No, never. I don't think I had that.
Yeah,
maybe for like a night or something.
Well, I tell you what, it hasn't really happened since I stopped drinking, which probably tells you a lot.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. I think when you're sort of living that party lifestyle, it's easy to kind of have people hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I slowed down, that's a good point. I don't think I've had a couch guy since that. Maybe one. I haven't one couch guy since then.
Go on.
Yeah, because Hector always laughs because we'll be talking about someone and I'll be like, oh yeah, he lived at my house for a while. I'll be like, you kidding? It's like, again? Like all these people. Anyway, I think at the beginning, I always think I'm doing them a favor, and I realize sort of as the time goes on, I'm not doing me or them a favor, just creating a problem. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, what other records do you have? You got Treehouse, but so we were talking about this earlier. There's like a mysterious first EP that we don't know too much about, right?
There was. We were talking about it because it's mysterious because we can't remember it.
Yeah, it's very mysterious.
We can't remember the name. It was probably self-titled.
Right.
It was right when we started out.
Are there any tunes on the first one that you guys still play?
Do we?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so because we've kind of progressed. I think the first EP was kind of like a totally different sound.
Right,
Yeah.
interesting.
Different genre.
For sure.
Different,
Yeah.
different
wow.
band. We were also a 2-piece back then.
Okay.
So a little bit different. It's somewhere. It's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there.
I'm going to look
The
for
CD
it
is
after
out
this, see
there.
if I can find it. Just out of curiosity.
it's out there.
And then the newer one you have, which is 2020, right? It's Blue Room.
Yeah, Blue Room is our most recent one. It's been a bit now, but that's definitely our most recent. Was that right before COVID?
Yeah, it was right. We had
before.
our EP release party.
Oh, we had our
during
EP release during
COVID.
the height of COVID.
which
Oh, well,
Which
that's like one of two. That can go one of two ways, because either all these people sitting at home kind of like have something to do to listen to your record, so
Mm-hmm.
there's that. But you can't do an EP release party, I mean, or you can, but you just,
We did.
We did, and
Nah.
it was not a great idea because
was-
we didn't want to promote it too much,
packed.
but we wanted people to come.
Sure.
But I remember playing in full mask and bandana around my face.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
just,
looking
just was awkward.
Like a surgeon or something.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was
actually really fun. Yeah.
it was a fun night.
Yeah, we got going pretty soon after. So I want to say by September, October, we were starting to do the odd thing.
Okay.
It's like March, everything completely closed down. Yeah, by about September, October, we're doing those mega social distance ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, before that, I tell you, one of the good things about all of that nonsense was everyone got really, really good at home
Yes.
recording, home everything, And this place, actually, Live Music Community, was doing some awesome live streams. And in this very room, we did a bunch of them, and they got really well received. It
Awesome.
was, it was cool. Killbillies did one. It was rad. But so on the subject of home media, like you record all of your own music, right?
Yeah, we have done it all ourselves. Yeah. We recorded Treehouse in the Treehouse. So most of it in the treehouse. Some
Most
of it.
yeah.
Some
I
of
can't
it.
remember. Well, we talked about it a minute ago, but is it actually a treehouse?
It's like a loft.
It's
Okay.
it's
And
in a
it's-
tree.
it looks like it belongs in like the mountains in Vermont or
it's like
something.
all
It's
wood.
very cool.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
I
it.
actually miss it. Yes, but you climb up a ladder, and it's
to get up there.
to get up there, and then I've had like rappelling gear, and we'd rappel beer and stuff, and
Oh, that's rad.
it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a really
It was a
cool
nice
spot,
space,
for
yeah.
sure. Getting amps up there is not fun,
Oh, yeah,
but
that's right.
other than that, that was a cool spot. Yeah,
It
for
was.
sure.
It sounds it, man.
But yeah, we recorded all ourselves. Treehouse was done mostly in the treehouse. Some of
Yeah.
it was done in my apartment. Vocals and stuff were done in my
Because
apartment.
it's a really good name for an album, and it is like literal as well. It's like
Yeah.
you're just what the recording
Yeah.
is.
yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, we recorded everywhere. Blue Room, the most recent one, we did actually in Angelo's house.
It wasn't in a blue room by any chance, was it?
No, so
No, that's where the practice. Space
Blue Room is actually
Right.
the practice space that we moved into after Treehouse.
Okay, so there is
once,
kind of a theme.
once
Yeah.
the Treehouse was gone, we moved into the Blue Room.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to recording your own stuff, what are you using? Are you got like a Mac and Logic like me and most other people?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
For that stuff, we used the Adobe Audition, some of that, and then we used Logic Pro,
Yeah.
Mac, some mics.
You use these guys, right? We were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I actually use a 7B for pretty much everything.
I know, they're so versatile. You can almost use it on a bass, a kick drum, you know?
Yeah, we have used this on kick. Yeah. We use it on everything, but we use whatever we have.
Yeah.
So we recorded them live.
Right.
So
that's cool.
The drums got whatever mics we had, and guitar amps and stuff had whatever was left over. So a lot of 57s, 7Bs, just whatever was there.
Yeah. I feel like you can kind of disappear up your rear end with the recording sometimes. You know, it's like some of the most beloved recordings are pretty rough around the edges, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think what ends up happening too is people like me who start obsessing about it over you'll start reintroducing roughness to the tune because you've taken it all out.
You made it too clean.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's so ridiculous. You know, I always think about that with you know, when you're making MIDI drum beats and then you press like the humanize button. It's like, you're a human. Yeah. Just play it. You know, don't need
it'll throw like fake swing on it or something.
Yeah.
Because it's too perfect.
Yeah. I do it all the time,
everything.
and I find myself thinking, "What am I doing right now?"
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. So, you record the rhythm section as one chunk, and then you just record the vocals over the top. Basically, is that it?
Yeah, we would do a scratch vocal during it, and then the vocals are overdubbed.
Yeah, okay.
But everything else is live, single take kind of.
Are you sending it off to get mastered, or are you doing that yourself?
No, we do it all.
Wicked.
Yeah, I've done all the engineering, all the mixing, all the mastering.
Nice. Did you ever have any experience with that prior to just jumping into it?
No, I just did it.
That's awesome.
I did kind of sit in on some sessions with some friends, so I would learn kind of some tips here and there.
Yeah.
I have a friend who used to live in the area. He played in a band called Peyote Coyote.
Yeah.
And for a bit, him, a group of friends, and then I joined in. We're doing some live sessions called Infinite Channel.
Okay.
So some live performance, and he would do all the mixing and that kind of stuff for it. So we would hang out. I'd watch what he's doing. Kind
Shadow
of learn.
a little
exactly.
bit. Yeah.
But a lot of it I just learned on the spot. You know, I moved stuff, and if it sounded worse, I'd put it back, and if it sounded better, I'd leave it.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I think most of us, and me for the most part, learn by trial and error. You know, like there's definitely been some things I've been told that have like moved me along a long way, but a lot of the stuff is just trial and error. One of the things that it took me a long time to realize is that, not a long time, but you know, the first couple of years of me mixing and stuff when I was young, it's like there's only so much turning up you can do before you know. There's more about like what can you turn down, you know, in the EQ, what can you take out, not what can you add.
That's what I learned about mixing. A lot of the stuff is taking stuff out.
Exactly. Yeah.
You
like
definitely want to take stuff out more than add.
Yeah, exactly.
Or else things start to sound weird and
all of a sudden it's like red line. You gotta go turn everything down, but then it sounds different. Oh my god. Yeah. I feel like these days I feel pretty confident with my mixing, and I mean, I've been at it for, you know, over 20 years. Yeah. And I feel like only now am I like, all right, I feel like I can get somewhere.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do it, and so far people have liked it.
No, it sounds great. Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Compliments on stuff. People that I look up to a lot more than my own set of skills. They're like, that sounds great. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, I've listened to your tunes. They sound great.
Yeah, I just wing it. And,
hell yeah.
You know, they'll give me advice and I'll tweak stuff. And each EP got significantly better sounding.
Yeah.
So
I did notice that a little bit between, you know, the second one and the third. I haven't heard the first one. But yeah.
You'll notice that. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, though. So you guys are all from sort of like Delray, Boca area, right?
Yep.
What kind of places do you play mostly?
So, well, again, when we came out of COVID, a lot of the places that we played at are just not there anymore. And a lot of the bands we played with are not there anymore. Right, a lot of them moved and stuff like that. So, you know, we played at like Poor and Famous, Churchill's, Miami we played down, what's it, Las Rosas?
Yeah, we've played.
Is that still there?
Propaganda,
no, I think that recently closed.
Yeah, that recently closed.
Miami's tough for like bands, you know. There are places, but it's tough.
Yeah, we've done most of the the whole local kind of West Palm down to Miami, all the places.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. How busy are you, like, with gigs? Are you trying to play a lot, or?
These days, not so much. We're kind of pick and choosing gigs a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think we're all a little bit busier now than at one time, but
Right.
COVID definitely slowed things down. I'd say before COVID, we were playing every week.
Yeah,
it
we
felt
were
like
playing-
sometimes 2 shows a week kind
Right.
of thing.
Have you ever done those ones where you got to play for a long time and you get, paid, like kind of bar type gigs? Or
Like
is it-
the 3-hour set things.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we've been asked to do a lot of that, but we do all originals.
Yeah.
It's fun to throw a cover in there that
Sure.
we like and have fun playing, but
Well, it's a slippery slope, like
yeah.
Killbillies does the original gigs, but we also do those kind of long ones, and
Yeah.
it ends up, it can completely become the band if you're not
Yeah.
careful.
Mhm.
You have to keep a real eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the harder things. The hardest thing about Killbillies is not relaxing into just being a bar band,
Mhm.
because it's so easy to do. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've got to keep pushing that original side of it. Otherwise, all of a sudden you're standing there playing Folsom Prison Blues and lose the will to live,
Yeah.
fall backwards off the stage.
Yeah.
But, it's not, firstly, Folsom Prison Blues is a great song, but I must have played it 20,000
Yeah,
times.
absolutely.
And secondly, I don't mind playing covers. I enjoy it, but you just don't want to be that's all you are.
Mhm.
It's depressing. I was talking to a friend of mine. Do you know that band Everymen? Remember those
Yeah,
guys?
absolutely.
Yeah, I was talking to Serge a couple of weeks ago about that. What do you do if you're a band that sort of plays in bars but is also originals? And I was talking about like the pub, like the sort of public sort of view of bands like that, and it's like if you even do those bar gigs like a bit, do you just become a bar band in everyone's heads? And I think that there is a bit of that. I think you have to do quite a lot of work to get away from that. If you are deciding to do both, you definitely you have to make it clear that you've got this other side as
Right.
well. You have to kind of go on about it a lot. Otherwise, people just. I mean, Spread the Dub are a good example of a band that manages to straddle both. Because they do those 3-4 hour gigs, but when I think of Spread the Dub, I don't think it's a bar band. I don't, so it can be done.
Yeah.
You just got to work hard at it. That's all. Yeah, cool. So when it comes to your social media presence, are you who's doing the social media stuff?
Me and MJ, I'd say MJ does most of it.
Try.
She tries to do most of it.
Right. Yeah.
Although we
gets a
just
lot.
called each other slackers yesterday.
Yeah.
We kind of fall, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's MJ just holding it down with that.
it's
Are you
trying.
doing everything?
I'm
Have you got
on-
stuff on everything? Are you doing TikTok?
Not
No,
yet.
no,
We don't have a
no
TikTok.
TikTok.
We
Yeah.
I feel like most of the stuff is on Instagram these days.
Yeah.
We did do a lot of Facebook. I used to run that and my account got hacked.
Oh,
So now
right.
I
That's
can't
been
get
happening to a lot of
into
people.
the
So he's
page
hacked
at all.
out of it.
Do you know Andy Johnson, that guy? He's just a sort of Lake Worth guy. Is it? Do you know that band Billy Doom is Dead?
I've heard of it.
we've-
Yeah.
Okay, he's the bass player in
Okay.
them, and he used to be the bass player for my band,
Okay.
No Name Scar Band. He was in that band, but I completely forgot why I was talking about him. Oh, anyway,
Did he get
relates- Huh?
You got hacked?
Yes, there you go. Oh, thank God, thank you. Yeah, my brain just went completely blank. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, he got hacked recently, and it's been happening to a lot of. It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I dread that because all of my band stuff is connected to it. You know, it would go into everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be a complete nightmare. It made me want to change my password when I get home.
Yeah. I haven't been able to get since. So
Yeah.
that's it. It's not my page anymore.
Oh, man.
MJ luckily still has
Yeah, I'm holding it
access
down.
to
but
it. So
Oh,
props
Now
to
it's
whoever's doing the Killbillies
yeah.
social media. You have a great
Well, we have a this girl Danielle, lady
Yeah.
Danielle, that does it for us, and she does an absolutely bang up job. Yeah.
I have to agree.
She's like the fourth member of the band at this point.
That's great.
You know, like she does so much for us, and I'm eternally thankful for it. You know, I feel like to do it properly is almost, it's almost a full-time job. If you're really going to do it properly, you got to be taking pictures all the time. You got to be posting like every day on like all of the different things. It's a nightmare. I think a lot of people have a lot of luck with TikTok, and I've been thinking maybe we should be doing more on there, but it's only so many hours in a day.
It's true.
This is true.
Should we get TikTok?
Angela,
Should we switch to TikTok?
Yeah, should try it.
Angela can set that one up.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Look
Maybe
out for
that'll
Bitter
be the
Blue
thing.
Jays on TikTok.
Maybe that'll be the thing that tips you over the edge. All of a sudden, Bitter
Maybe.
Blue Jays are world famous.
World famous TikTokers.
Have you guys ever been out of Florida on tour or anything like that?
No.
Right.
No, we had the opportunity to go with some friends to play, do kind of a little tour in Japan.
Oh yeah, with Octave Gutter.
Yeah, with Mike Locke. We had that was what, a few years ago.
Yeah.
It feels like many years ago.
Yeah.
Which we regret. We should have.
Yeah, Japan sounds awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been there once with a band. With my band Sonic Boom 6, had a really good time.
Yeah.
Mostly just because everything was just completely alien. Like anything you look at, you're like, whoa. 'Cause I learned a ton. The weird thing is that you don't understand anything written down or anything anyone's saying. Because if you go to like France or Italy or somewhere like that, you can figure out what's going on, But in Japan, you just... I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like luckily we had like a guide with us, the guy who, the PR guy who was kind of looking after us, and without him we would just been lost at sea. I don't know what we would have done. Yeah, it was cool though. We played some pretty awesome shows.
We would love to do that. At the time, kind of we didn't have the time.
Yeah.
But
does Mike speak Japanese?
That's a good question.
I think
So,
he
right?
must.
A little
yeah.
bit, right?
Yeah. Well,
I
big
think
up
he
to
had.
Mike if you're listening.
Mike Locke.
Yeah. You're a legend,
What's
Mike. Yeah, cool. So I think this actually might be a good point for you to guys to play us some tunes. You up for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right,
Let's do it.
All right. Ready?
Flying up above, feeling quite a buzz, knowing I'm your man. Couldn't give a damn about any other girl. Walking around, head in the clouds, holding your hand. Couldn't give a damn about any other girl. And you're the girl for me. Just you wait and see. I'm your biggest fan. Couldn't give a damn about any other girl. left me.
Hey everyone, Justin here, co-producer of 561 Music and owner of Live Music Community. Last year, I went on the road with The Shake to film a DIY tour. I decided to promote it by showing you the entire thing in this 30-second clip. Well, now that it's almost over, I hope you'll watch the trailer, out now on LMC's YouTube channel. Our handle is @LMCFlorida. Episode 1 drops Monday, July 31st at noon, and will drop new episodes every following Monday. Once again, that's youtube.com/@LMCFlorida.
561 Music is sponsored by Harmony Management Group. Are you looking for help with your bookkeeping, tax prep for your music business or other small business? Do you need something notarized? Does your construction-related business need help in protecting receivables? How about a gift basket to say happy birthday, get well, or thank you for your business? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Harmony Management is your solution. After 30 years and 2 corporate jobs, Mary started working her side hustles full-time, and 6 years ago, Harmony Management Group started evolving from a business platform which didn't exist to what it is today, intertwining her 3 passions and creative sparks all from the same office. The past several years, Mary has become the go-to accountant to the local scene's musicians and artists. Need help? Give her a call today at 561-420-5652 or visit harmonymanagementgroup.com. Now, I can personally say that Mary is an absolutely wonderful accountant and she really understands the world of artists and musicians. She's been a huge help to Killbillies, and we are so proud to have her as a sponsor because she really cares about the local music scene and the local art scene. If you need help with the paperwork side of any small business, Mary has got your back. Again, the way to get in touch with her is 561-420-5652, or you can visit harmonymanagementgroup.com. We are also sponsored by Oasis Root. Now, Oasis Root Carver Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indian Town Road, and it is a carver bar. If you don't know anything about carver, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of carver and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It's has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a carver bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of carver bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing, and some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. And yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very, very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root Carver Bar. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band. And his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue, and we can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. But outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. It's north of the gas station, right before you get to North Lake on Military Trail. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. Thanks. Okay, so we've just been listening to an ad for Live Music Community, which is where we are right now. Do you have any advice for upcoming musicians by any chance?
Anyone?
Got any advice, my dudes?
I mean, I think real is rare. So I would say, just to have fun and stay true to who you are.
Yeah, easier said than done, actually.
I mean?
Yeah. It's good advice.
That's all I got.
I tell that to my students all the time. You'll get people come in and they'll sing a song and they'll put like a really heavy accent on, or be trying to sing it exactly the same way the person did it. I'd be like, just sing it as if you're, just be yourself.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is actually very good advice, honestly.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Anyone else got any pearls of wisdom for us?
I think just do it.
Yeah.
If you want to play music, just do it. If you want to play the show, just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't wait for the right piece of gear.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the opportunity. Just go out and do it.
Yeah, it's all there waiting for you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Leave the house, go and do it.
Exactly.
So, cool, man. What? Who writes the songs in the band? Is it like a group effort, or what's the deal with that?
I'd say kind of lyrically I do.
Right.
And I also kind of make the framework of the songs.
Right.
I'll do most of it on guitar, and then I'll bring it kind of to the practice or the jam, and we build it from there as a group.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty. That's how a lot of people work. Do you have a writing process to get that first little bit down?
I don't. It's real strange. It kind of just happens.
Yeah.
Like if I'm listening to something and I get an idea, I might write something down, and then I might write the whole song right there.
Right.
Or
I quite often get ideas when I'm listening to music.
Yeah, or if I'm watching TV or I see a movie and something's interesting, it'll go from there. But then
that's another thing. Yeah, I get sometimes watching TV too. The other day, like you always hear stuff that you wouldn't usually hear, like because people. There's all these composers out there who are just writing music just for TV and movies, and a lot of these people are really talented, Yeah. And you do some of that?
I just do the instrumental stuff.
That's cool, man. I've been doing a little bit of that too. Do you record it all yourself?
Yeah. Just
that's
everything
rad.
by myself, yeah.
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you recording on? Are you using Logic?
I use Ableton mostly.
Ableton?
Yeah.
Interesting. How did you find yourself with that gig? Like, I'm very curious about this stuff because I do a little bit of myself. Like,
it was kind of random, but just some guy emailed me through my SoundCloud, and then he was like, "You want to do this?" I was like, "Cool, yes."
Have you done a lot of it?
Not really. Like a few of my songs have been on like Catfish or like MTV shows.
Nice.
Yeah, so
that's wicked. Is it like what kind of music is it?
It's just like I'd say electronic or like indie. Hip hop ish sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to you about that afterwards. Anyway, cool. So, could you tell us a bit about what the two songs we were just listening to were about?
So we just played "Any Other Girl." That song's kind of just about that feeling when you find someone and nothing else matters in that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. You just try and capture that, and
I know, if only you could.
Yeah. But it's just about a girl.
Yeah, I think that, you know, I don't know why I'm broaching this enormous topic, but you get that initial rush, don't you? That kind of, and it's not passion, it's just that weird cloud nine thing that you get. Just, you know, everything's wonderful, and like, you know, the rain falls differently, and like, you know, just super happy about everything all the time. And then, you know, as relationships go on, I feel like the love grows, but you can never have that, you know, it's like that first little bit, you know, that's a one-time only thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is a shame. I think people get addicted to that
Yeah,
feeling.
they chase it.
Yeah, totally. And I think, you know, I'm wise enough to know that that's a bad idea. You know what I mean? Just jumping. But you know, I've been married for a long time, and I think that, you know, the love that you get from being with someone for a really long, every now and again I'll get flashes of it, you know. I'll be lying in bed and in the morning or something like that, looking at my wife asleep, and I'll get that, you know, flashes of that same feeling, you know. Yeah, it's definitely a few times in my life when, you know, I've had that kind of like initial love feeling. Yeah, there really is nothing like it.
It's one of a kind.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know, and I hope that everyone's had that feeling at some point in their lives, because it's that feeling of like, is it going to be reciprocated? Is it going to be reciprocated? And then it is. You know what I mean? That feeling, that relief almost. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling.
Totally, man. What was the other song about?
We also played a song called Pawn, which is actually kind of the exact opposite of Any Other Girl.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how you were saying you're hoping it's reciprocated. That's kind of the event where it's not reciprocated.
Right.
Where you feel that same kind of thing, and then you find out they don't feel that same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So one-sided, that's kind of like...
the yearning.
Exactly. The soul-crushing version of Any Other Girl.
Gotcha. Well, there's some great songs, and I've seen you know, you're on social media and stuff like that, but I didn't know a lot about you, and so I'm glad that we got this opportunity to listen to your tunes, because I really like them. And you know, one of the cool things about this podcast is that I find myself in a situation where like 90% of the time I'm listening to local music now. You know, because there's always someone to listen to for the podcast, and then also, you know, half the time I end up really liking the music on the podcast, and so it just gets into rotation, you know. And if you're listening to this, I mean, there's almost no way, if you're listening to what I'm saying right now, like 3/4 of the way through this podcast, that you don't already listen to local music. But if you don't, then, you know, you should, because it's you know, as good, if not better, than anything, you know, on a grand scale, international type music, because you know, I don't know, it's more interesting. Like, I think that if something has completely broad appeal, that every single person likes it, you know, there's a chance it probably isn't that interesting, you know. I think local music has all its little quirks and idiosyncrasies is a better listen, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of really good local talent.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool music, a lot of really cool songs. It's out there. You just got to find it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that it's with the way that we listen to music now and the streaming thing and just the sheer amount of it, it's easy to get that kind of kid in a candy store sort of wall-eye, like inability to kind of focus on one thing, and you don't know where to start. And I think half the time, just start. Just search around, just see what you can find. You know, don't worry too much about it. Is this cool or whatever? You know, just listen to some stuff.
Or just go somewhere.
Yeah.
Go to a place where there's people playing, and you're gonna see some cool bands.
Yeah, no
some bands
doubt,
you've
man.
never heard, and you know, you might find your new favorite band.
Totally, man. Do you have any bands around here that you like?
I've had a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Octogata.
Yeah, some bands have kind of come and went.
Yeah.
People have moved. They've kind of started new projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know that when I first moved here, the whole scene was that kind of swamp punk kind of, bands like Everyman and all those kind of bands, and that was like the big punk thing happening when I moved here, and Killbillies was influenced by that, especially at the beginning. I feel like now we don't really sound like that, but it was definitely a huge influence on us at the beginning. And it was awesome too, and those shows are crazy and rowdy.
Yeah, super. Those shows were awesome. I think one of my favorite local bands that I can recall kind of from that era was Viva La Vox.
Yeah, dude.
That band was incredible, and every show I went to, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to play shows.
Yeah, totally. And they're still kind of together, but like a small sort of
they've kind of moved here and there.
They live somewhere else now, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, I follow Scarecrow Jenkins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, see what he's up to all the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of those bands were really cool too because they put on a really good visual show as well, instead of just kind of here's some people playing music on this stage. They had a look, they had a stage presence, all of that. They put on like a show.
Yeah, and it was punk in the way that it was. I mean, the music was good, but in the live setting, it wasn't the point. It was just the energy was the point. And that's like, that's a lot of good punk rock is that. It's just the feeling it gives you. The whole thing, the aesthetic. Not just like what notes are being played.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, all those bands were. There was a lot of great bands in there. I'm trying to remember some other ones. There was my friend Cecil was in one. What were they called? Fellow with a big beard. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I can't remember what they were called. They were amazing though. Anyway, he wrote. Actually, my friend Cecil Lunsford wrote a really, really good article about the whole scene. I'll see if I can dig it up, and because he sounds like you liked that. If I can find it, I'll send it your way. Yeah. He just really managed to kind of like crystallize that whole thing.
Yeah, I loved all that stuff. Every men's show I went to was a blast.
Yeah, for sure. I got to play the last sort of 3 or 4 of their shows because I was playing like accordion and a bit of like sort of extra guitar and stuff like that, and it was like I felt stoked. I was like being able to play in my favorite band kind of thing.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. And actually I just got made a one of their t-shirts, the one that has like the upside down horseshoe on it and stuff, and it was the weird the umbrella that was like has an umbrella and an upside down horseshoes on it. That one, with the rain under the umbrella. You know what I'm talking about? I got in touch with Serge and I asked him to give me the art for it, and I've made my own Everyman merch with the thing because they don't have any t-shirts left. So
that's amazing.
I've actually got to go and pick them up from the guy. Like he just told me today it's finished. So
that's got to be the biggest compliment.
Yeah, totally.
His bootleg merch.
Yeah, exactly. But he was up for it. He didn't give a shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was down. Cool. So why don't we have a little bit of a chat about your very nice cherry red Gibson? What's going on with that? How long have you had that?
I've had that for. I've got a few guitars. I've had that for a bit. That is kind of like a very early '60s reissue of a 335. I really like those guitars.
Yeah.
That first Mystery EP was I recorded that with a Tobacco Burst 335, which is now long gone. So I've kind of gone full circle.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I really like him too. I've got a Heritage 335, clone or whatever, like the similar thing, and I play it a lot, man. I like playing, like it's really good I find it really good for like all sorts of things. It's got so much body, and you can play jazz on it, you can play funk on it. Sounds great. Funk sounds great on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guitars are awesome. You play anything on it. Angelo's got one too as well. Just amazing guitars. Awesome. We kind of had I kind of started playing kind of Gibson guitars, humbuckers, Les Pauls, that kind of stuff. And then I moved kind of to playing more Fender style guitars. Yeah. And now I'm back. I'm back on that body plays so well, especially since we're a 3-piece band. Yeah. So we can kind of fill out the sound a little bit better. Yeah. But yeah.
I have an Acoustasonic Jazzmaster, which is for what I do with Killbillies just works really good. Because I need to be able to have like an acoustic sound, but I need to be able to move around on it real fast. And also, it's nice to have something that doesn't have like a big sort of empty body like that, because I feel like they don't really hold up that well in the weather. You know, they start to screw up.
Yeah.
So I am a little bit worried about the fact it has a chip in it, because at some point that's probably because I'm outside so much, you know. So we'll see. But so far so good. Anyway, touch wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you guys got coming up? You got you getting back in the studio?
Yeah, we're actually we've been writing some songs. We also have a few songs that kind of we've been holding on to.
Yeah.
So we're looking to get in the studio, record some new music to put out. It's been a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice.
We kind of took a little bit of a break, a little bit of a forced break.
Right.
But now we're looking to get some stuff out there.
Yeah, wicked. All
absolutely.
right, good stuff, man. Well, good luck with all of that. And, you know, if it's anything like the stuff you've already released, then it will be great. And if it's different, I'm sure it will be different and better.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so what have we got coming up? Killbillies has... So we're playing DAS, D-A-S, in Abacoa on Friday from 7 to 10. And if you've never been to Abacoa, it's basically in Jupiter, just a bit further west. And if you've never been to DAS, it's just... It used to be called DAS Beer Garden. It's a like a craft beer place. Really cool. And they have a stage outside, and we play there on that stage outside. And I've got a bunch of my friends coming, so it should be a rowdy one. So if you want to party on Friday night and it's not too like late of a party, we're playing 7 to 10, then come and hang out with us there. And then I've got a solo gig on Sunday at a place called Golden Juicery in Jupiter, and that's just me hanging out and sort of jamming away on my guitar with a looper. So if you want to come see me do that, I've got pretty good at it, if you ask me, these days. So come and check out my solo set. I'm going to play some originals and then just kind of jam out on some covers too. I'll be there from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The other good thing about Golden Juicery is that everything they sell there is delicious. They have all this kind of like health food, which sounds terrible, I know, but it's wonderful. They especially like breakfast stuff and wonderful, and juices and stuff like that. So I like going there. I like hanging out in there. I just had to have a meeting with a friend of mine, Jacob Tacos, and we picked there because it was just such a chill place. So I go there in my free time. So you should come see me play there. Anyway, that's basically it. If you want to help 561 Music out, we always need like, a bit of help, like sponsorship or any kind of donations. This is we're not getting paid any money to do this. We're just doing it for the music community and trying to help people have some kind of like a platform or another thing to do in the area. And so you can go on our website. It's 561music.com, or you can find us on our social media. 561 Music Podcast is that's the handle for all of the social media. And the YouTube, if you're listening to this, is 561 Music Podcast as well. Super easy to find. It'd be great if you could do all the like and subscribe and follow stuff. I know everyone always says that, to the point where when I say it, you probably just hear white noise, but we would really, really appreciate it if you did. It does make a difference, helps with the algorithms and all that stuff. And here's me pretending I know what algorithms are, and it is what it is. Just please do it, like and subscribe, that stuff. We'd really appreciate it if you did that. And thanks so much for listening to the podcast. It means a lot to us that we get to do this, because we love the music scene down here. And guys, thanks so much for coming on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, wicked. All right, we'll see you later.